So we know what you're thinking right now. What is it that you haven't told us for 3 years? Well, we're gonna get to that, but if you're new here, hi, I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Nick.
We've really noticed a huge shift in our culture in the past few years when it comes to relationships, and it's lit a passion in us to share on that, but also help you guys in your journey. We've noticed this in the dating scene, in the engagement world, and then just also in singleness. I mean, there's a lot of lack in this space from a younger perspective. There's a lot of older people talking about this, but not a lot of people who are like brother, sister, like let's do this together. We can't wait to share what we're going to share.
You know, if we're really honest, we have gone through tons of hard times. We've gone through tons of hard conversations. We've wondered if we really belong together. And I think a lot of that probably stems from our own backgrounds with relationships specific to dating. Really hurtful, really toxic even in some ways.
Yeah, and even for me, I remember being single and going in and out of relationships when I was just trying my best, honestly, in the whole dating world and just trying to find my husband because I really wanted to find that person. I just remember getting so hurt and feeling really misunderstood and feeling like nobody had the same goals, the same values that I did, and wondering if guys are just getting worse or maybe my expectations are too high. Like, what's going on?
Because that pain that you have felt, that pain that I have felt deeply, and that pain that you have felt deeply is so real. And I mean, it changes so much of how we see life, how we see relationships, even I think sometimes how we see family. And I personally was so frustrated when we had first started dating. And I felt like we really got along in a lot of ways, but in a lot of ways I felt like there was a lot of disconnect. And I think that I was really afraid of committing because I was just unsure.
Thank you more than anything for glorifying these prayers that Chelsea and Nick each separately have prayed for all these years, and that you have brought them together.
I was unsure in a lot of ways if what God had spoken to us at that conference that day was really just my lunch talking, or if it really was the voice of God. And so I really wrestled with this, and I remember coming and sitting with a mentor, and I remember he just looked across the table from me and gave me a whole new paradigm, a whole new way of looking at things and speaking to my actual relationship that I was in. And he just encouraged me to imagine what life could be like, imagine what relationships could look like if there was a way to know, if there was a way to be sure and to put a stamp on it that, man, this is someone who you should be with. This is someone worth pursuing a marriage with. And so what that mentor did for me that day changed my life and my relationship forever. And so I would just propose the question to you, what if there was a way for you to know in your life that your relationship or your future relationship or your engagement right now is the right one for you rather than just the right one for right now? Maybe you've also wondered in the past too, man, how can I know? How can I be sure? Should I commit to this person? How do I know if I should, or how do I know if I shouldn't? Are they the right person for me for the long term, or are they just the right person for this week or this month or even this year? Or
maybe like me, you have a hard time trusting a new person or just letting them into the hidden things that you don't share with anybody else and the true story that you come from and your family. And so we're just so lit on fire with this message. Again, Nick was just sharing not long ago that he's gone a lot silent on social media. I've kind of toned back a lot because we're realizing that a lot of our hearts is just to really minister and walk alongside you guys in life. And the way in which we find the best way to do that is writing, because we can really sit with the process. And so, Marriage Minded, 10 Ways to Know If You Found the One is out for pre-order. And it is our message directly for you.
Yeah.
If you find yourself in the middle of any of these questions that we just shared with you, or you resonate with any part of our story, this is for you. Yeah. We truly had this vision to write this book 3 years ago and been working on it diligently and just making sure that it's just refined.
This is not a journey of our relationship. There are elements of our story woven all throughout this book, but this book is based off of 10 biblical truths that relationships can be founded on. And we knew that to appropriately walk alongside each of you in the journey that you're on, it was going to take us getting down in the dirt, getting down in the weeds, and getting messy with the process. And that's exactly what this book is. It's raw, it's real, it's upfront, God's truth, and a lot of it being displayed through our life, but also what God showed us through the process to bring us through to the other side. And we know that He can do the exact same thing in your life and your relationship and your future relationships and eventually in your marriage too. So excited.
We understand that we're probably not that much older than you, or maybe not even older than you, but we understand also that that gives us a unique position to be able to walk alongside you and know that our culture, our society has shifted since several years ago or even decades ago, where a lot of other books are framed for our generation, but they're a little bit disconnected in the sense of like being on the ground with you, knowing what it's like. I mean, we did long distance. We met on Twitter. We know the digital age that we live in, and it is real. It's harder in some ways and it's easier than others, and we just want you to feel like you're not alone in this process. But this is about your story and the story that God's creating for you, and the questions that you should even be asking the person that you're dating or may date in the future or even engaged to, some gaps that you've yet to fill in before you say yes to somebody you're going to spend the rest of your life with. And we wish we had a resource like this whenever we were in that process. So that's why we have a heart for it. That's why we're giving it to you. It's really just an extension of realizing what we missed out on and what we needed in the process. And so we're gonna leave a link where you can pre-order, and we'll also list a bunch of incentives for you to order it early.
Yes.
We're not gonna share all that here, but we're gonna be sharing a lot more on social media and stuff, and we're just excited for the journey that we're all gonna go on. And with all that being said, thank you guys for welcoming us in.
And thank you for trusting us as well. We don't consider any of this lightly. We don't take the fact that you guys are seeking this out in your own lives lightly, and we wanted to honor that effort, and we wanted to honor that in this book. And so that's exactly what we try to do. And thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of the family, and we hope to see you around.